The trees remember. I never believed in curses until I walked into the Black Willow. They told me not to go. The old men at the tavern, their faces cracked like the bark of the oaks outside, warned me with stories. They said the forest was a wound-up place where the earth never healed after the miners dug too deep in '43. They claimed the men who went into blast for coal came out hollowed, their eyes black as pitch, their fingers fused into claw like knots. Most vanished. The ones who didn't. They walked back into the trees one night, singing a hymn nobody recognized. But I was desperate. My daughter, Jess, had been gone for 3 days. The sheriff called it a runaway case. He said her footprints stopped dead at the tree line, as if she'd been plucked from the air. I knew better. Jess was 16, fierce and wild, but she wasn't stupid. She'd left her inhaler on the kitchen counter. She wouldn't last a night without it. ... So I went in. The first thing I noticed was the smell of rotten eggs and burnt hair. The second was the silence. No birds. No wind. Just the creak of my boots on soil that felt spongy alive. I marked my path with a hunting knife, carving notches into trunks, but the gashes bled a sticky amber sap that smelled like copper. By sundown, the cuts had closed. I found her sneaker at dusk. It lay at the base of a willow, its branches hanging limp like nooses. The shoe was caked in mud, the laces tied in a perfect bow. Jess's quirk, she always double-knotted the left one. My throat tightened. I picked it up, and that's when I heard it, a child's laughter, high and bright, echoing from deeper in the woods. Jess. I ran. Branches lashed at my face. Roots snagged my ankles, but I tore free. The laughter led me to a clearing where the trees grew in a perfect ring, their trunks twisted into spirals. In the center stood a well. Not stone. Bone. It was built from yellowed femurs and rib cages, fused together with a black, tar-like substance. The air buzzed, my fillings aching as if I'd bitten foil. I peered over the edge. No water. Just darkness. And then, a hand shot out of the well skeletal, flesh sloughing off in gray strips. It grabbed my wrist. The voice that followed wasn't human. It was a chorus, dozens of voices drowned in the same thick, would gurgle. The hand yanked, and I fell. I woke in a cavern. The walls pulsed, veined with glowing moss that throbbed like a heartbeat. The air reeked of decay and something sweet, like overripe fruit. My head swam. I reached for my flashlight, but my fingers, they were longer. Knuckle bones protruded unnaturally. Nails black and sharp. Jess's sneaker lay nearby, half buried in the muck. I clawed at the ground, my hands leaving furrows in the soft, breathing earth. Shadows moved in the periphery of my vision, shapes that skittered and melted into the walls. A figure emerged. Tall, skeletal. Its skin was bark, cracked and oozing. Antlers sprouted from its skull, tangled with vines and clumps of matted hair. Where its eyes should have been, 2 fat beetles clicked their mandibles. It spoke, but not with its own voice. The sound was hers, Jess's. Distorted, stretched thin, as if played through a broken speaker. My name echoed through the chamber, wrapping around me like chains. The thing lunged. I don't remember how I escaped. Only fragments tearing through the cavern, my hands clawed and bloody, the creature's howls shaking the earth. I followed the glow of the moss, crawled through a fissure, and spilled out into moonlight. But the forest wasn't done with me. By the time I stumbled back to town, dawn was breaking. The sheriff found me at the edge of the woods, clutching Jess's sneaker. He didn't recognize me at first. Can't blame him. The mirror shows it now, the bark like ridges creeping up my neck. The way my joints pop and crack when I move. The hunger. Oh God, the hunger. It's not for food. It's worse. I catch myself staring at the neighbors' kids, their throats pulsing with life, and my mouth waters. At night, I dream of the well, of roots slithering down my throat, of Jess's voice whispering, "Daddy, why did you leave me there?" The worst part, the trees sing to me now. They tell me to come home, to finish what the miners started. And the longer I resist, the more I feel it the black willow, gnawing at the edges of my mind, rewriting me. Jess was just the beginning. I'm the bridge. He townsfolk avoid me now. They see the dirt under my nails, black and clotted, smell the rot on my breath. They don't know about the roots growing inside me, threading through my veins, replacing blood with sap. They don't hear the hymns. Last night, I stood at the forest's edge. The trees parted, revealing a path. The same spirals from the clearing. The same bone-white glow. Jess's laughter drifted out again. Closer this time. I'll go back. Soon. The forest always reclaims its own.